And there's so much happening here in the summer of 2015. There's so much coming our way, right? But see, one of the reasons I'm very cautious about doing videos like this is, I'll give you a good example. I just saw a few days ago there was a story that popped up out of nowhere and just kind of went pretty quick online and started showing up in a lot of different places and a lot of feeds. And it was this idea that some ex-military guy or some military guy went AWOL, walked into a 7-Eleven, I think in Texas, and told this kid like everything. He's like, there's an imp coming. They're going to drop an imp in Texas, and it's over. You know, they're really going for it, and this is it. Tell everybody, you know, warn everybody. And I didn't really cover that because just right off the top of my head, it sounded ridiculous. Now then again, you know, I don't know everything, and by the time I upload this video and put it up, there'll still be several hours left in the day of 666, the official first day of Jade Helm, right? I certainly hope I'm right, and I certainly hope it was all just a bunch of disinfo about this imp attack in Texas. And as I said, if I really thought it was a real threat, then I probably would have posted something on it. I don't think that's anything to really be too concerned about. But that's something we're going to have to look out for, because there's going to be a lot of disinfo. There already has been. And beyond all the disinfo, there's several real legit things that are happening this summer in America, and just all around the world, that are very intense and very interesting, and things that we should be watching. So Jade Helm, of course, is first and foremost on that. We've never seen an occupation like this in American soil ever, like this big, ever. This is huge. And as I covered in the last video, that typically this is something we see in other countries. Afghanistan comes to mind. Like, before we invade, before we do what we're going to do in these countries, first we start off with dropping propaganda, you know, using the media. And then we send troops in ahead of time as well, so they can get an idea of the lay of the land, and they can kind of understand what they're going to be working in. We put them in there first because we know something's coming, right? So it's another reason a lot of people are very concerned about Jade Helm here in America. Let's move beyond Jade Helm. I want to show you a few of the things. I'll just kind of cover some of the things I've been seeing other people talk about that people are really concerned about. And once again, it's very interesting. There's so much lining up over the next few months here in America. So let's check some of this stuff out. So right now we're actually involved in what they call it's a once in a 2 millennial event. In other words, this is incredibly rare, but from 2014 to 2015, there's a tetrad of 4 blood moons, and all of them fall on Jewish feast days, and all of them within a Shemitah year. Shemitah years, you can go back to Leviticus chapter 25. God commanded his people not to plant the fields on the 7th year, and this is to be a Sabbath year to rest and honor God. And during this year, all debts are supposed to be forgiven, slaves set free, the land is to rest, and the economy of the land will be reduced. Shemitah years can bring down economies, kingdoms, or nations that do not follow God's will. However, if a nation follows God's will during this time, a nation can be greatly blessed. It gets even more interesting whenever you start to study the Shemitah year events, and you'll notice that during this time, you'll often see empires rising up and empires falling down. So I'll just give you a few of them here. But in 1917, America rose to power during a Shemitah year, ending World War I. At the same time, it was the rise of the communist state of the Soviet Union. And once again in 1917, it was the defeat of Germany, the fall of the Tsar of Russia, the fall of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, and the fall of the Turkish Ottoman Empire. And then we flash forward to 1938, and we see the German Nazis attack Jewish businesses and burn Jewish synagogues, all on what they called the Night of Broken Glass. And in 1945, we had Nazi Germany defeated. The atomic bomb was then dropped on Japan, thus ending World War II, and Japan signed a peace treaty the same week of the end of that Shemitah year. Also in 1945, the United States became a military superpower. The US dollar became the world's standard currency, and the United States became the richest country in the world and the world's largest lender nation. Then we flash forward to 1973. We have the United States Supreme Court declaring that America can kill their unborn babies. Also in 1973, the World Trade Center was completed, which became a symbol of America's economic strength. Also in 1973, America lost its first war to Vietnam. Nixon took America off the gold standard, and that set in motion the decline of the US dollar. Then we move forward to 2001. In 2001, the World Trade Center buildings, once again the symbols of America's economic strength, were destroyed by, well, of course they called it an Islamic terrorist attack, but most of us know there was much more to the story. And then, of course, 1 week later, Wall Street had one of its greatest collapses on the last day of the Jewish Shemitah year. And in 2008, exactly 7 years later, Wall Street suffered its largest decline, bringing America now to the point of the world's largest debtor nation. Which brings us current to the year 2014 to 2015. And of course, in September of 2014, we started a brand new Shemitah year. And this happened in connection with the tetrad of the 4 blood moons, which all occur on Jewish feast days. So many are concerned because, as it's pretty obvious, the United States has turned away from God and godly principles and have certainly endorsed a much more sinful nature. It's very possible, many people believe, that God's judgment will fall on America during this year of the Shemitah. Something else to consider, a lot of people have been talking about asteroid impact, about an asteroid showing up around September 2015. Different reasons why people are thinking this asteroid's going to come. NASA has mentioned a few things about this as well. But like I said, it's hard to say. I mean, anytime there's real information like that coming out, there's going to be tons of disinfo to follow, right? So it's always going to be hard to tell. But really the main thing when it comes to the asteroid impact or any potential asteroid hitting the Earth, when it comes to that idea, there is something I can show you that I think is pretty interesting. And here it is. I've shown you guys this in a couple other videos as well. I think a lot of us forgot that this happened, but outgoing Department of Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano, and this is back in 2013, warned of a serious cyber attack and an unprecedented natural disaster. So the cyber attack is interesting. You know, some may say it already happened. Just a few weeks back, there's a big story out there all through the news about China conducting some form of cyber attack on the American federal government and getting a list of all the names of the people that work there. So I don't know, you know, was that the cyber attack or will there be something else? But aside from that, we have this unprecedented natural disaster, the likes of which the nation has never seen. So is she referring to this possible asteroid impact? And then, of course, let's not forget that we have Pope Francis visiting the White House. It's his first trip to America, and he's coming September 23rd. And what's more is the Pope, the Jesuit Pope, many people believe could be the false prophet from Revelation, and I would say at the very least is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I've done some videos on him in the past, and I'll do more in the future. There's plenty to show you on the Jesuit Pope. So on the 25th of September, he'll be addressing a UN General Assembly of all world leaders. And on the 24th, he'll be addressing the American Congress. So those are just some of the key things that a lot of people are focusing on that are taking place this summer. And a lot of things that are lining up that people believe could be clues to prophetic events, clues to the real end of America and the real beginning of the Fifth Age, or the V, the 5. And all that brings me back here to the band Maroon 5. And as you can see, they have the V featured prominently here on the album. They also are representing the red and the blue, the Red Lodge and the Blue Lodge, the Freemasons. And this is Adam Levine from the band Maroon 5. This is from one of his videos. It was really gross. It was called Animals. And he was portraying in this video, not my words, but theirs, like a sexy serial killer. The whole song and the whole video was all about cutting women up, chopping them up into pieces. Well, and of course having sex with them too. Point of the matter, this guy is sick and he's just another Illuminati puppet. A lot of people have done videos on this guy and on Maroon 5. And most of these bands anymore, anything that's mainstream in the music that's at the top of the pop charts, it's not too hard to find these people doing the Illuminati symbols. They're basically representing the beast system. It's the Fifth Age, the Age of Aquarius. This will be that short season that the devil has here on the earth. So many people are awaiting his arrival. Many people are awaiting the man of sin, the man of perdition, the bad, bad man to be revealed. Some people believe this asteroid coming to the earth will be symbolic of Satan being cast down to the earth once again for the Fifth Age, the last age of man, the fully matured New World Order. If you're not familiar with it, I've mentioned this before, there's a television series called The Messengers. And the whole idea of The Messengers is exactly that. It's that Lucifer, it's that the devil, is cast back down to the earth from heaven in the form of a meteor. So please understand, I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going to happen, but I'm saying that we've already seen that played out. We've seen this story played out before us. And oftentimes when deciphering these Illuminati symbols or these ideas that we see played out in our movies and our television shows, this is oftentimes predictive programming. Anyway, I just wanted to add that as something for you to consider. So back to Levine. I mean, this guy doesn't even hide it. You know, this right here is once again another album cover, another Maroon 5 overexposed. But as you look around all the characters, you can see the devil back there. You can see several one-eye symbols playing out in there. It gets even more obvious right here with the Adam Levine collection available at your local Kmart. For back to school, you know, you want to get those kids ready for back to school, but check out every Illuminati symbol they play out right here, man, right before your eyes. We also know he's on The Voice, and once again the voice goes back to the red, black, and white color coding, but also the V. We have the V featured prominently. And we know that the V, once again, or the peace sign, as we're told. For these people, it means something else. You know, for the public, sure, it's like, hey, it means peace. But for the people like this, the people in the know, these Illuminati tools, they know what it means. It means the fifth age is coming. The Antichrist approaches. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying everybody that uses this knows this. And as I said, you can do any kind of a search that you want when it comes to The Voice, and you'll find all kinds of interesting symbols here. And once again, there's the kind of slight pyramid with the eye. We've seen that before many times. But as I was saying, back to the red, black, and white color coding. You know, this is one of those elements that we see played out time and time again with at least certain sections of this beast system. We know that the red, black, and white was very popular with the Nazis. We also know that the red, black, and white is very popular with the Church of Satan as well. So taking all of that into consideration, it's very important. I think you see this right here. This Summer is going to hurt like a MFer, and this is a new song from Maroon 5. They just performed it on stage a few weeks back. I saw it somewhere online. And it really kind of blew me away. You know, once again, considering everything that's coming, all these possibilities, considering Adam Levine and his connection, obviously, to this beast system. We see multiple confirmations there. It's not like he just held up a V one day and that was it. Time and time again, we see multiple confirmations of this. And this is what it is, and I talk about it all the time. The veil is lifting. The beast system is revealed. We're seeing this stuff come out right before our eyes. So isn't it interesting that he's singing this song, This Summer's Gonna Hurt Like an MFer? And what's the picture? Well, the picture is an enormous tidal wave. And once again, that takes me back to the asteroid. You can do a little research on this as well, and there's a lot of people that have been having dreams and visions for the last few years of something happening in the ocean, some kind of an impact. It used to be people were saying it was going to be nuclear bombs going off or whatever. Some people have seen that or thought that. And then we also have, of course, the asteroid impact. So that's the question. Again, taking all of this into consideration, all of the confirmations, right? Putting it all together, could these people be sending us a message? Is this a warning? Even if it is, it's not like they're giving us a warning because they care about us. I believe these are spiritual laws at play. This is why oftentimes you'll see things played out in movies and TV shows and media in general that come out later on, right? It's like they're telling us what they're going to do before they do it. And I've tackled that subject multiple times in other videos as well. You can just look at it as lesser magic. Again, it goes back to the idea of the vampire needing you to invite it in so that it can kill you, right? Well, I just thought that was kind of a shocker. You know, when I saw the tidal wave, I saw the title of the song. I already know his history and his connection with all the Illuminati symbols and the beast system. You add into that all these other factors that are at play, and it certainly makes you wonder. So once again, guys, I'm not trying to be a fearmonger. I'm not trying to scare you. As I told you, there's going to be a lot of disinfo that comes out around these events as well. So you got to be prepared. You also have to keep your eyes open, and by that I mean your spiritual eyes. It does take the spiritual to understand a lot of these kind of things. It takes the Holy Spirit, I believe, to see these things. And beyond that, you need your logic, your reason, your critical thinking skills. So this is going to be a very exciting summer. I guess that's the word. It's definitely a summer to watch. With Jade Helm in place and all the other things happening out there, and now we have these kind of messages, it might seem. These are things to watch for. These are things to be aware of. So anyway, that's it, you guys. I just wanted to share this with you. I thought it was very interesting. Once again, not trying to scare you, but I want to prepare you. Make sure you're prepared in whatever that means to you. I'm not saying something's going to happen. I don't know. But it certainly seems like there's a lot of things lining up, doesn't it, for this summer? So let's keep an eye on it over the next few months and see what happens. And certainly let's hope and pray for the best. Well, thanks again for checking out the video, you guys, and I'll talk to you real soon. Take care.